All right, the doctor is in. Let's see our patient. We have the RedCrystall by SKG Gray in here. It got to me as a butt cut, and it's grown one leaf. I think it's been, probably like 6 months. And look at that leaf right there. If you can see, it's got some yellowing, browning on the end. And I'll tell you, it's in soil, which I'm trying to convert stuff out of soil in my cabinets because there's just too high of a chance of root rot. And I think that might be what's going on here. We're gonna at least pull it out and check on it. The other thing is I feel like I should have seen another leaf by now. Everything else has grown a leaf or two since, and this one's only put out that leaf. So we're gonna check on it, see what's going on. Okay, let's get into this and see what we've got. Losing my voice a little bit. Leonardo's ready to chop some rot, and I think we're gonna have some rot in here. I'm gonna be surprised if we don't. I've got my 3 size pots ready. A small pot in case I have to cut a lot, a big one in case I don't, and a little one in case I have to like restart this thing. And again, this is the RC SKG Gray. Came as a butt cut. It's been in soil. All right, moment of truth. How much rot is in this thing? Oh, so that's, oh, okay. Whoa, okay. Let's see. That was much too big of a pot. Holy cow, yeah. So I've just kept it in the same, I haven't touched it since I got it. There's some rot here. Can you see the, this is rot because it's just gonna come right off. Normal root is kind of like the difference between a dead branch and a live branch. You know, the live branches, you can bend it all you want to and it's not going to break. The dead branch, you take a bend to it and it, breaks right off. Same thing with rot. Like here's another little dead rot piece. Snaps right off. This explains a lot. Yeah, this is why it hasn't been doing much. Wow. So I'm shocked. It might take a second just to talk about pots. From what I have found, I bought some clear pots. I always collect pots. By pots, I mean cups. Anytime I eat out or my family eats out, I tell them to save their cups. Because recycling doesn't do much. Reusing is much better than recycling. So anytime you eat out, if you have a plastic cup, don't throw it away, bring it home, wash it out, and cut little holes in the bottom, and you've got pots. Spend money on plants, not on pots. That's my saying. Let's get more into the roots again. This is kind of dark right here. That's concerning because if this part right here, if there's rot right here, all this is going to be bad. You got to cut it back at the beginning. So I think there's definitely rot. This is kind of floppy right here. I'm going to cut this over. Cut this right here. The apex of the root system, the apex of the root, I guess, is what you say. The apex of the root is important. You want a healthy apaxial part of the root. So, I mean, I'm going to get all the really bad root rot off. And, this isn't great, but I think the plant can weather that. It is dark and it seems like it's starting to rot. But man, This should have been in like this size pot. You can kind of just work that root in there, and because this pot's too big for that. I'm gonna kind of scrape some rot off. I think I can do that. And this might be a good time to try spraying like a mixture of hydrogen peroxide on this. You know, you take like water, put a dab of hydrogen peroxide in there. Just so it's not really strong, but give that a spray to try to, you know, minimize the growth. But yeah, this is kind of soggy, kind of squishy, so I'm going to cut back. If you can see that, we're going to chop it to like right here. I've got my chopping scissors here. I'm going to chop back to where I see white. We'll let that air out a minute. Actually, on the other side, it looks like I need to chop it further back. I'm going to go all the way back here. No, so when I chop that, I can see like a little, it's probably really hard to see. There is some blackish brown stuff coming in on the edge there. There we go. So that is all clear now. This root doesn't look great. You know what, let's just snap off most of it. Let it restart that root. You know what, we're going to snap off the end of this root too, so it can be restarting, and hopefully a new root will be healthier. Okay, so there we have it. That is why this plant was taking so long to grow. And we're gonna get this guy in a smaller pot. We're gonna put it with sterile media because he needs root growth. He really needs a lot more roots than that to be in soil and to be safe from root rot. So, you know, we could put him in this pot, and you know what? I think that's what we'll do. Small pot. Now for sphagnum moss and perlite. I add perlite to the sphagnum moss to help make sure the sphagnum moss doesn't compress too much, because I don't like compressed sphagnum moss. I like light and airy sphagnum moss, and I water a lot. I probably overwater. But this guy's going to go in a prop box, and inside a prop box you definitely don't want soil. Anthuriums especially, I think anthuriums probably have a very susceptible root system to root rot, and more so than like philodendrons and monsteras. So we'll get this guy going. I'm going to pause. We'll see what we got going on now. Okay, we got our perlite cup here. Got sphagnum moss here. It's dampened down below, so that's why I'm pulling from the bottom. I added new moss on the top. So I'm going to throw some in there, sprinkle perlite in. I'll let that kind of settle to different parts. Perlite's like sand. I think if you think of it like sand, that's a good way to help understand perlite. It's sterile, you know, it's not going to introduce any kind of nutrients to your soil, which is what you want. If you don't have a lot of airflow, you don't have critters like springtails in there. Springtails and those kind of like cleanup crew guys to gnaw on the fungus and kind of keep everything from getting infected with bacteria, breakouts, fungus, mold, that sort of thing. Okay. A little more on top. And the perlite sort of just sinks down and fills some cracks. I've got some big chunky perlite coming in the mail today. This is just a normal size perlite. I think I got coarse, like grade 4 coming in the mail, which I'm excited for. I've never gotten the chunky perlite yet, or it's gonna be my first time. All right, now I think if you want to see, there's a little bit of an air pocket there. There's a little too many air pockets. So I'm gonna try to tuck some more sphagnum moss into those air pockets. I'm not pressing too hard. This is where the art of the packing comes in, because you don't want it to be too dense, but you also want it to be airy enough. And this is, you don't have to be this careful. Most nurseries, they're just like stuff in it. Get that stuff in there, move on to the next plant. This is where you can kind of provide a little bit more tender care to your plants than a nursery might, and it doesn't make a huge difference. But there we go. It is ready for watering. I will water it with a little bit of fertilizer in the water. Get this guy going. I'm going to put him in a prop box because he's just not doing good. He needs a lot of root growth before he can, get out into the open. If you want to create your own prop box, it's pretty easy to do. Just be on the lookout for trash. As you're using stuff, a lot of times, I think I should make a video on this too, how much stuff you buy from the grocery store, that kind of thing, actually provides you with great things to start making pots out of, or prop boxes. I know if you shop at Costco, there's stuff there. If you shop at the grocery store and you get like the soup containers, that's a great prop box right there. But anyways, this has been a Save the Anthurium potting. Doctor is in. The diagnosis is prop box and sphagnum out of soil. Get those roots growing stronger before we can give it actual soil. And we'll do a checkup in a little while, maybe a month from now. But I've had great success with the sphagnum moss and perlite in a high humidity environment. The roots start looking like white, and they look hairy, and they get thick, and they're pretty amazing. Like, they look very healthy after like a month or two of high humidity in the prop box. So I'll give a checkup in a little bit. Thanks for bearing with me. I know these videos are a little bit I'm learning the video process. I'm trying to set up good content, but if you want to subscribe, I'll try to keep those videos rolling in, and I'll try to improve with each one. Thank you for following and watching this video. This has been Ahoy Plant Lovers, and see you later. All right, it's been 4 or 5 days since I've repotted the SC by SKG Gray, And I gotta tell you, guess what I saw this morning? Look at that little baby leaf that popped up. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I got a little bit emotional when I saw that leaf because the idea, the story of this plant sitting in my cabinet next to other plants growing, doing fine. This guy just stood there without a single new leaf for, I don't know, like 6 months. Some crazy long time. I knew it was not doing good. So that's why I pulled it out and was like, what's going on? This is a pretty amazing story of how fast this plant recovered when it was given the right conditions. And I think that the story of this plant really sinks down deep with me. I don't think I'm ever going to sell this plant. I've formed an emotional attachment to this little tiny plant because, I mean, I think so many people are in the same condition, same situation where everyone else around them is succeeding and doing well. And, you know, they're like, hey, you're in soil. Everyone else grows in soil. Why don't you like the soil? And he just needed a different medium to grow in. Like, once you get that medium to it, it's like he takes off and he's gonna, like this, I swear, I'm gonna show this plant get amazingly, like this is gonna turn into an amazing plant. And all it took was this like simple change, little tiny change. Someone come along, give it what it needs, and say, here, there you go. And now it's going to take off. Like, I don't know, this, I think about people when I'm thinking about the story of this plant, and I wish this kind of easy change was easy to give people. And uh, it feels good to see something do well after you give it a little boost. Anyways, that's sphagnum and perlite. It's been doing really well with my plants. I've pretty much eliminated root rot, and being inside, eliminated the need for, or the winter killing the plants. And so the only threat that's left is pest. You gotta worry about pest, but 1 out of 3 isn't that bad. All right, that's been a good conclusion for this RC by SKG Gray repotting. Thanks for stopping by. Ahoy, plant lovers. Subscribe and like and follow for more. Okay, update number 2. These are corms we pulled out of the Alocasia blizzard. And check it out. Look at that. That's like a pure white leaf in there. I believe that's the only successful corm that sprouted. This one, you can see nothing. This one, nothing, and it kind of looks a little fuzzy up there, so it might be getting some mold. But yeah, that one's nice in the back.